And welcome back to the Business Spotlight. My guest today is Paul Salfen. Paul is a man that's been able to interview some of the greatest folks that I think I've ever seen on the big screen, whether it be Harrison Ford, Tom Cruise, Angelina Jolie, Will Smith. I mean, the list goes on, and he's been able to have their attention and really share their story with the world. So, Paul, thank you so much for being on the air again.
Thank you for having me on.
So I want to get into one of the ideal things I want to get into is like your ideal client, who you're looking to talk to, and then one of the things that I want to integrate in there is how you use social media, which I think is part of your process already. Because I know we've got Kathy Brandon; she's a social media guru. So, how are you attracting?
Well,
who are you attracting? I should say, who are you trying to attract?
Well, I guess it depends, because I do such a wide variety of things. I mean, I was just explaining that my schedule in a day doesn't make sense to anyone, including me. I mean, it ranges from, like right after this, I'm going to consult with one of my clients. Winston Supper Club is a nightclub downtown. And following that, I've got a planning meeting for an app company that I've launched. And then I've got to go work on a couple of interviews that I've done. And I'm an editor for Flavor Pill, so I've got to put in pics for that website, and then I've got to write an article for Scoreboard, which is a sports magazine, and then I have to do some planning for the Drew Pearson Show. And so none of it...
That's ended tomorrow afternoon already. You haven't slept yet.
Right. And I'm off to Sundance Film Festival this weekend, and then the following weekends are completely booked with, let's see, we've got the Super Bowl next weekend that I'm going to, and then the Grammys, and then All-Star Weekend. So nice. It's all fun stuff. It's all great stuff, but it's all work too, and it's all so varied. And now that we're so mobile, I can work from anywhere. But that goes into the social media thing, because part of it is people will see these things. They'll see that I'm on the TV show today. They'll see that that I'm going to be doing a really great interview on Thursday with the stars of Warm Bodies. And then they'll see that I'm at Sundance, and then they'll see, and those kind of things, people go, okay, this guy has something going on. So being well indexed in social media and making sure that every post ends up on Facebook and on Twitter and on Tumblr and Instagram and wherever else it needs to end up, those are the important things. I mean, I can't stress to you how much, even if you don't understand it, even if you don't feel like you really care about it, it's important.
That is absolutely true. Kathy?
Well, and I'm excited to meet you, Paul. I really like the way you handle the interviews with the celebrities. I really enjoy your personality. You're very real. What I got from looking at you online and looking at your videos is I didn't get to see enough Paul. I would watch your videos, like with Eva Mendes. I watched your video, and I got to the end of the video, and I'm a huge fan of her, so it was a really sweet interview. I got to the interview, and I wanted more Paul. I had enough of, and no disrespect, but it was a great interview. So by the end of the interview, I was satiated with the star. I wasn't satiated with enough Paul. And then I went to your Facebook, and
there's more than enough.
There's a lot of Paul there that's just awesome and wonderful and all that. But still, your face on video. I got the pleasure of seeing you speak last week.
Thank you.
And then I watched your video. And I really like who you are on film, who you are on the camera, and I'd like to see more of that. And that's the only thing that I actually saw that was missing, is we just want more of you.
Yeah, that's one thing the producer of the Drew Pearson Show, Tom Stokes, he's really sort of hammered that into me, because again, I'm not a natural, I don't try and push myself out there. That's not what I wake up and think about.
Right.
But it's something I've had to adapt to, and that's one of the things he keeps trying to tell me, is that there needs to be more of you. You need to, why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done this? Why don't you do this? And these are the kind of questions you need to ask yourself and go, am I doing everything? Am I getting out there? Because, if you're doing all you can and the results are the results, then okay. But if you're sitting there thinking, well, why don't you have your own show? If you're so good at this, well, I don't know. If you're answering most of these questions as I don't know, it's probably time to set some goals or put some things in motion, and it's harder than it looks. And you also have to have that self-confidence. I mean, part of it, part of me is that I don't really care to be on on film as much as my interview subjects. I always tell the camera guy, okay, you know, do an establishing shot so they know that we're in the same room, and then the rest of the time focus on them. It's about them. And maybe that's the wrong thing. Maybe there should be more back and forth. But I'm still learning every day.
I think it's really exciting. I like what you put out there. But that was the good news. That's the only thing that I see is missing. When I went and looked at your entire online footprint, and then I had the opportunity to hear you speak, and I just think that's all. We just want more Paul. And so what you're doing on Facebook with your photos and your events, you know, bring your camera. You know, maybe some behind the scenes.
Sure.
Some of that dialogue. But that's it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I will certainly try and put myself out there a little bit more and inject a little bit more of maybe my personality into it. I realize that there's always more stuff you can do to improve.
It's really funny because I so relate to this. I mean, I have a guest. I make the show about the guest.
Yes.
It's not necessarily about what I'm doing, but it really is. You know, what are they doing to create such success in the area? And that's the real secret to the business spotlight, is that it's telling your story. If you're a business owner, it's telling your story in the marketplace and then publicizing it everywhere. If you want to be on the air, you should call us. I'm Pat Dewar. We'll be right back.